You do it every day, right? You point your phone, you tap a button, and you capture a moment. It feels so simple, almost like magic. But behind that one little tap is this incredible system of technology, all working together perfectly. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain and see exactly how your smartphone turns the light all around us into the pictures you save and share.
And just to get a sense of how huge this is, think about this number, 1.2 trillion. That's roughly how many photos are taken on smartphones in just 1 year. I mean, that's over 150 pictures for every single person on the planet. The scale is just mind-boggling.
So, with literally trillions of photos being snapped, you have to wonder, how does it all really happen? It's not just one thing, it's a super complex system of lenses and filters and processors all working in sync. But to understand this digital system, we're actually going to start with a biological one.
That's right. Believe it or not, the blueprint for that super advanced camera in your pocket is something you use every single second you're awake, your own eye. It's the original camera, and if we understand how it works, it gives us the perfect way to understand the technology it inspired.
And it's a surprisingly logical system when you break it down. Light comes in through the cornea and lens, which focus it. The iris, well, that acts like the aperture on a camera, controlling how much light gets in. And all that focused light lands on the retina, at the very back of your eye. Think of the retina as a massive grid of light-sensitive cells that absorb particles of light and send electrical signals to your brain.
Now let's look a little closer at that grid. It's made of two kinds of cells. You've got rods, which are amazing at seeing brightness, giving us black and white vision when it's dark. But the real magic of color, that comes from the cones. And here's the wild part. We only have 3 types of cone cells. One type is tuned for red light, one for green, and one for blue. Every single color we see is just our brain mixing signals from these 3 types of cone.
Okay, so with that biological blueprint in our heads, we can now turn to the technology. And as you're about to see, the engineers who designed these cameras, they didn't really reinvent the wheel. They basically just built a digital version of the human eye.
And the parallels are, well, they're incredibly direct. Your iris, which opens and closes to let in light, that's the camera's electronic shutter. The retina, that big grid of cells at the back of your eye, that's the camera's image sensor. And those individual rods and cones, well, in the camera, we call those pixels.
So when you hear someone talk about a 16-megapixel camera, what that really means is that its image sensor is a grid with 16 million of these tiny light-sensitive squares. Each and every pixel is designed to do the exact same job as a rod or cone cell, just detect light at one single point.
So now let's zoom in. I mean, way in. We're talking microscopic level. We need to understand the one fundamental process that's at the heart of every single digital picture, how one single pixel turns a particle of light into an electrical signal.
Each pixel is actually this sophisticated little stack of technology. On the very top, you have a tiny microlens that gathers up photons. Right below that, there's a color filter. And just like our cone cells, each pixel is built to see only red or green or blue. And at the bottom, you have the most important part, the photodiode. You can think of this as the light-sensitive engine of the whole pixel.
So how does it work? Well, it's a lot like a tiny solar panel. When a photon of light slams into the photodiode, its energy knocks an electron loose. A built-in electrical field then pushes that free electron away. So when millions of photons hit it, you get a flow of electrons, which is just a measurable electric current. It's actually pretty simple. More light equals a stronger current.
Okay, so that's one pixel. But a camera has millions of them. Now we need to see how the camera takes all these individual readings from all those pixels and somehow assembles them into a single coherent picture.
The camera doesn't read all 16 million pixels at the exact same time. Instead, it scans the sensor incredibly fast, using something called a rolling shutter. It reads the electrical value from every pixel in the first row, then the second row, then the third, and so on, zipping all the way down the grid in a fraction of a second.
Now that electrical current, that's an analog signal. It's a continuous flow. But computers, as we know, only speak digital. They only understand ones and zeros. So a special converter measures the strength of the current from each pixel and assigns it a number. All those millions of numbers are then blasted over to your phone's processor, which puts them all together to build the final picture that you see on your screen.
So we've pretty much covered the how. But now let's ask a bigger question. Why? Why are our eyes and our cameras built specifically around those 3 colors, red, green, and blue? I mean, that seems strangely specific, doesn't it?
Think about it for a second. Light is part of this gigantic electromagnetic spectrum that has everything from radio waves to X-rays. And yet, both our own biology and our technology are designed to see this one tiny, specific sliver we call visible light. And even then, we only use 3 base colors. Why is that?
Well, the answer isn't here on Earth. It comes from our star, the Sun. What you're looking at here is the intensity of sunlight that actually makes it down to Earth's surface. And as you can see, it's not even. It actually peaks right in the green and yellow part of the spectrum, with a lot of blue and red light making it through as well.
And this shows us a direct line through history. See, life on Earth evolved to use the most abundant energy resource it had, sunlight. So early life developed light-sensitive cells tuned to the peak frequencies of that light. Millions of years later, our eyes still carry that evolutionary code. And so today, we build our cameras to capture red, green, and blue for one simple reason, because that's the reality our own biology is built to see.
So in the end, our most advanced technology is really just a tribute to our deep, evolutionary past. We build cameras to see what we see, and we see what we see because of the very specific light that our star shines down on us. It's this incredible, unbroken chain from astrophysics to biology to the tech in your pocket.
And that brings us to one last thought. If you were to look super closely at the grid of pixels on a camera sensor, you'd notice something odd. It's not an even split of colors. There are actually twice as many green pixels as there are red or blue ones. Now, why do you think that would be? Well, it goes right back to that solar spectrum we just saw and how our eyes evolved to see it. It's a fascinating little puzzle that shows just how deep the connection between our biology and our technology really goes.